Latin American and worldwide heads of state congratulated Luis Ignacio Lula da Silva after his victory in Brazil's presidential elections. Tensions continue in Bolivia as Santa Cruz authorities and government supporters in the region keep vying over the strike that has severely affected the economy of the region and the country. Russian President Vladimir Putin led a trilateral summit with Armenian and Azerbaijan leaders in the city of Sochi amid expectation that a peace agreement would be signed between the parties. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Brazilian President-elect Luis Ignacio Lula da Silva received congratulations from leaders and social movements around the world, while current President Jair Bolsonaro has yet to make a public statement following Sunday's vote. Following Lula da Silva's victory with 50.9% of the votes, several leaders in Latin America and the world took to the social media to express their congratulations to the president-elect for his victory in the runoff election. Among them is the president of Cuba, Miguel Díaz-Canel, who expressed his desire to continue strengthening the bond between the two peoples. Likewise, the Venezuelan president, Nicolás Maduro, hailed the triumph of democracy in Brazil. Meanwhile, Presidents Vladimir Putin of Russia, Gustavo Petro of Colombia, and Andrés López Obrador of Mexico also expressed their happiness at the results of these elections. The President-elect of Brazil, Luis Ignacio da Silva, received the Argentinian President Alberto Fernandez, who is visiting this country for the first time during his term. The meeting, which took place at the Intercontinental Hotel in the city of Sao Paulo, with the expectation of a stage in which the leader of the Workers' Party will play a key leadership role to unite the region once again after consolidating his victory in Sunday's ballot. Upon his arrival to the country, the Argentinian president expressed his joy for Lula da Silva's victory and highlighted the president-elect's qualities. Among them, he described him as a leader in the region. In this context, Alberto Fernandez emphasized that the inauguration of Lula da Silva as president of Brazil on January 1, 2023 will help to unite the continent once more.
I can only congratulate the people of Brazil because they have carried out an election day with total transparency, peace and calm. And I believe that this is valuable and it is something that all Latin America needs.
We continue with more on Lula's presidential victory. The president of Venezuela said on Twitter that he had a good telephone conversation with President-elect of the Republic of Brazil, Lula da Silva. President Maduro welcomed Lula's willingness to resume the binational cooperation agenda between both countries. President Maduro and President-elect Lula agreed to work to that end. Colombian President Gustavo Petro also tweeted on Monday that he spoke by telephone with the President-elect Lula da Silva and extended his sincere congratulations. President Petro added that Lula da Silva told him that relations between Colombia and Brazil will be close because they both love the Amazon. China's foreign ministry congratulated Luis Ignacio da Silva on his victory in Brazil's presidential election and wished the country new successes.
China warmly congratulates Mr. Lula on being elected once again as the President of Brazil and wishes the country of Brazil new success on its development. China and Brazil are not only two major developing countries and important emerging markets, but also comprehensive strategic partners. It's been 48 years since we established diplomatic relationships, and they have developed in a very healthy and stable way, which has produced practical cooperation in all fields with abundant achievements.
During a visit to Astana, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock welcomed Luis Ignacio Lula da Silva's victory in Brazil's presidential election, calling it a win for democracy and climate protection.
First of all, I warmly congratulate the new President-elect Lula on his election victory. The election in Brazil has one winner, but several winners. One winner, or the biggest winner, is Brazilian democracy, because the elections, which were very close, were transparent and fair. And especially in these times, that is so important for our trust in democracy and the rule of law. And another big winner is the world's climate.
Truckers and other demonstrators blocked some highways in Brazil to protest over the electoral defeat of President Jair Bolsonaro to Luiz Inácio da Silva. Burning tires as well as vehicles such as trucks, cars and vans were blocking several points in the central western agricultural state of Mato Grosso, which largely supports Bolsonaro, reported the company which manages the highway in the state. Local media reported road blockage in Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. In the southern state of Paraná, about 30 protesters were still blocking a road after authorities dispersed at least 8 other blockages throughout the morning, said the Federal Highway Police. We're going to take a short break, but first remember you can follow us on TikTok at the account at teleSUR English, in which you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the south. In the Philippines, the death toll caused by Tropical Storm Paeng rose to 98 in the last few hours, according to an updated report from the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. Tropical Storm Paeng hit the country over the weekend with Category 3, leaving it with severe flooding and landslides due to the heavy rains. The report published Monday ensures that more than half of the deceased belong to the autonomous regions of Bangsamoro in the southwest of the country, and that 58 of them are already confirmed, while the other 40 are still being validated. Authorities continue searching for 63 missing people. Another 105,000 remain evacuated to safe locations, and 590,000 families have been affected. The Disaster Management Agency insists that the authorities carry out intense search and rescue work to recover the bodies, locate citizens, and evacuate families in vulnerable situations. Tropical storm blizzard develops in the Caribbean Sea south of Jamaica. The U.S. National Hurricane Center reported that a natural phenomenon is advances towards Central America. Lisa currently has a maximum sustained wind speed of almost 40 miles per hour and tropical storm force winds extending about 99 miles from its center. In that sense, the Meteorological Center pointed out that Lisa is about 174 miles south of Jamaica, where a tropical storm warning is in effect. The storm is expected to gradually strengthen and will probably become a hurricane. According to the path forecast by the entity, it will pass on Monday to the south of Jamaica, tomorrow to the south of the Cayman Islands, and will approach Central America on Wednesday. Haitian journalist Romelson Wilson died on Sunday from gunshot wounds caused by National Police agents in front of the Dalamas station while protesting the arrest of a colleague in Port-au-Prince, the capital of the country. According to press reports, Wilson went to the facility along with another group of citizens to protest the detention of Radio Zenith reporter Robes Dimanche. Police forces attempted to violently disperse the crowd, and during the events, several colleagues were injured, including Wilson, who died hours later in a city hospital. Numerous civil organizations, such as the group Action for the Strengthening of Human Rights, condemned the murder and demanded an investigation of the events. Wilson becomes the 6th journalist killed this year in Haiti. A few months ago, the United Nations Integrated Office in the nation stated that from 2000 to date, 19 journalists had been murdered, making it a worrying situation. In Bolivia, Presidency Minister Maria Anela Prada denounced personal threats in the midst of tensions in Santa Cruz for a strike that has severely affected the economy of the region and the countries. Minister Prada said Sunday that photos of her family home and her address are circulating through WhatsApp groups, along with the message, "Go lay a hand on her," which she regards as fascism and believes it's coming from people linked to Governor Fernando Camacho Prada. Prada said Governor Camacho is prone to issue threats. She said people linked to the strike call owned by Camacho and Romulo Calvo made her aware of the messages by calling to her house and to that of her family, but she says that they will never intimidate her nor her family.
They have sent to my family these messages that are circulating in WhatsApp groups, as you can see here. where they are giving the address of my house, the address where my family lives here in Santa Cruz, so that violent groups move to my home, to where my family lives. And again, here I show it. This is not the only group where they are circulating these kinds of things, where they are giving the address of my house.
The former paramilitary leader of the United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia, Salvatore Mancuso, asked President Gustavo Petro to join Colombia's full peace process. Mancuso, who is being held in a prison in the state of Virginia after being extradited to the United States in May 2008, wrote a letter to Colombian President Gustavo Petro. In the text, the former paramilitary leader said that he says yes to total peace and that the truth must come first. He also pointed out that the actors of the conflict in Colombia were created under the complicit eyes of previous governments. For his part, Petro stated that he is not afraid that Mancuso would speak. On the contrary, his invitation was to speak if he wants to be a peace promoter in Colombia. On Sunday, Ecuador's National Assembly challenged President Guillermo Lasso once again by ratifying the 3 articles of the communication draft bill that the president had vetoed. The articles, ratified in their original version and not as intended by the president, promote the creation and strengthening of community media directed and administered by social organizations, communes, indigenous peoples and nationalities, Afro-Ecuadorians, Montubio people, and asylum seekers historically discriminated against. In this way, the Assembly members voted for the protection of the right to freedom of expression. According to Pachacutic lawmaker Mario Ruiz, it is necessary to halt currently existing monopoly and oligopoly. We have more news coming up after a final short break, so don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. In Russia, the Ministry of Defense announced that all partial mobilization activities related to the recruitment of Russian citizens have been stopped. By order of the Minister of Defense, Sergei Shoigu, the commanders of troops of the military districts and the commander of the Northern Fleet were instructed to terminate the mobilization measures by November 1st. In accordance with the order, all activities of military commissariats and regional authorities related to recruitment and delivery of summonees were finished. Furthermore, it is reported that in the future, military registration and enlistment offices will be used only for volunteers and candidates for military service under contract. On Monday, once again, several cities in Ukraine are shaken by the sound of explosions and shelling alerts. The governments of Kiev, Poltava and Vinnytsia, as well as other areas of the country, report explosions after the air alert was held all over the territory. The advisor to the Ministry of Interior of Ukraine, Anton Gerashenko, confirmed that at least 40 missiles impacts have been reported on Monday morning. In Kiev, the capital of the country, they confirmed that more than 50% of the city is under a blackout. The military report refers to attacks with Russian C-300 systems aimed mostly at power installations. On Monday, the leaders of Russia, Vladimir Putin, Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan, and Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, reaffirmed their commitment to the agreements to normalize relations between Armenia and Azerbaijan signed in November 2020. According to the statement adopted after a trilateral meeting in Sochi, the leaders stressed the importance of actively preparing for the signing of a peace treaty between Azerbaijan and Armenia to achieve a sustainable and long-term solution in the region, as well as the importance of forming a positive atmosphere between the two countries to continue the dialogue. Amid high regional tensions, the United States and South Korea have begun their first large-scale military exercises in 5 years. The United States and South Korea began their first large-scale military exercises dubbed Vigilant Storm, which, according to the U.S. Defense Department, are intended to dissuade North Korea and its missile tests. South Korea is contributing 140 military aircraft, including stealth fighters. The U.S. sent 100 aircraft, stealth fighters, electronic warfare fighters, and several reconnaissance ships. The maneuvers will be joined by Australia with a KC-38 tanker aircraft. The joint military program started in 2015, igniting challenges to the northern neighbor despite its numerous calls to respect its sovereignty and security. On late Sunday, Ghanaian President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo outlined measures to halt the depreciation of the Ghana cedi as he blamed the COVID-19 pandemic and the conflict in Ukraine for the country's economic hardships. Akufo-Addo also blamed currency speculators and unlicensed currency dealers dubbed as black market operators for the recent sharp fall in the value of the Ghana cedi. According to the Bank of Ghana's October official report, the national currency had depreciated by 37.5% between January and August this year and is listed as the world's worst performing currency against the US dollar. Announcing a raft of measures to address the crisis, the president said the government would maintain a 30% cut in the salaries of the president, vice president, ministers, and other government appointees, while Ghana is also negotiating a $3 billion IMF bailout program.
We must, as a matter of urgent national security, reduce our dependence on imported goods and enhance our self-reliance, as demanded by our overarching goal of creating a Ghana beyond aid. Much as we believe in free trade, we must work to ensure that the majority of goods in our shops and marketplaces are those we produce and grow here in Ghana.
Lebanese President Michel Aoun left office Sunday, a day earlier than due to date for his 6-year mandate, with Parliament having failed to agree on his successor in a country divided over religious quotas, trying to recover from a year-long financial crisis. Addressing his supporters outside the presidential palace in Beirut, the 89-year-old Christian leader, inaugurated in 2016, said Lebanon is entering a new chapter which requires huge efforts to end the suffering. Aoun's presidency was marked by the 2019 financial meltdown, which pushed more than 80% of the population into poverty, prompting historic anti-government protests, and by the Beirut port huge blast in 2020. Prime Minister Najib Mikati said his interim government will fill the void. We have come to the end of this news briefing. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.